The anti-government protests in Thailand have been raging unabated. But there seems to be another layer to all these protests. Another section of people is sustaining them. So who are they? Our next report has more.
The protests in Thailand have intensified in the last few weeks. The government continues to threaten its own citizens. The demonstrators refuse to bow down. And the political turmoil continues to worsen. But amid the water cannon, rubber bullets, slogan chanting, and demanding Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-ocha's resignation, there is another section of people who sustain the protests. Who are they? They are being compared to the CIA. They are aware of the protest sites even before the demonstrators decide on one. Believe it or not, they are the street food vendors. After a government crackdown last week in a bid to outsmart authorities, protest groups have begun keeping the venues of their demonstrations a secret until the last minute. But protesters have quickly noticed that they are often second on the scene. By the time the demonstrators reach their venue, food vendors have already set up their carts and stand ready for a busy night of brisk sales. You ask, how are they doing this? Well, the answer is social media. From Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, from posts to comments to live chats, they are always one step ahead.
We don't come to the protest randomly. We plan beforehand and see if protests are happening today or not. And if it's scheduled for much later than we anticipate or way too far from our homes, then we don't go. We follow the protest news on every page, every channel, and read the comments and everything.
The street vendors have seen a more than 50% jump in their sales. They hawk sour pork and fish balls to a democracy-hungry crowd. Listen in to this meatball-selling vendor's anecdote.
Protester came up to me and asked me how much for the whole cart. So I told her 9,000 baht. Then she gave me the money straight away.
Vendors across Bangkok are in constant contact with other vendors who tip each other off. Business has been booming since the protest movement kicked off in July, with the vendors now a regular feature on the sidelines. The bonanza has also given vendors a better work-life balance, enabling them to sell out their entire carts by 8 p.m. instead of the usual midnight closing time. Many vendors also fear setting up businesses in such a volatile environment. But the economy's free fall in the face of a coronavirus pandemic has left them without a choice.
I'm scared, but I've gotten used to it. I've been coming to every protest, so I got used to it.
Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Co-presented by Skoda. Simply clever.